When he's back, see the fire.
Reasons why NYC should be scrapped. Now, I know a lot of you out there, some of you young graduates are scrambling to go into your various PPA to be at the khaki that is reverenced and adored by the nation, especially seeing your predecessor, your brothers and siblings who've done that before. But I'll tell you something, that the disadvantages of NYC outweighs the advantages, and here are some of the points. Number one, NYC unsettles core members. Now, you agree with me that some of these graduates, while studying, offered courses like entrepreneurship, education, and then they had experience of skill acquisition, and then they practicalized it by setting up small-scale businesses. Some of these graduates also worked. They trained themselves in school and then spring up competition. But then all of a sudden, boom, they have been posted to another state. And originally they had in mind that they will be retained within their state of graduation so they can concentrate on their business. Now imagine if this were to be a friend of yours setting up a business that's doing well, and all of a sudden this person is posted to another state. You see, this person tends to spend 1 year in another state trying to start life afresh. This dragged this person backward.
The National Youth Service Corps in Yobe State has asked the 342 graduating corps members to use the skills acquisition obtained during the 1-year mandatory service to be self-employed, especially now that access to white-collar jobs is difficult to obtain.
Coming back home after the graduation and all that, you see that they find that the economy or the labor market is flooded. Competition and competitors have springed up around, and then you see that they struggle. What's the essence? Your business has collapsed and you're about to start afresh from scratch, something that you should have established. That this is a disguised blessing. But to me, I don't see the importance. NYC should allow the youth flourish in their state of graduation. Number two, NYC is core members. Like, now tell me, when these graduates are being posted to fast states, you hear about auto crash, plane crash, and all that, even abduction, something like this.
The remains of a member of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), Oroluwa Aino, have been buried. The 28-year-old was one of those who died on Thursday, March 9, when a Lagos State government staff bus collided with a train in the PWD area of the state.
I'm not even talking about abduction, rape cases and all that. These are the terrible, despicable situation NYC present core members.
The House of Representatives Committee on Youth meets with the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps over the abduction of 8 corps members in Zamfara State. The incident happened on their way to Sokoto State for the orientation program on the 19th of August this year.
As I told you, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. There are a lot of cases, a lot of news that we've heard where corps members have been brutalized by military personnel that are assigned to train them. It's not really worth it. Do you understand? These people try going to a fast state that they don't know to secure early slots, preparation before the parade starts. And sometimes in that rush, you see congestion all over the states. There are so many crashes and accidents that happen. Whereas, the lesser the journey, the safer it becomes. But when you see it being far, you understand, the more intense it gets. So when you set these people to various states and they are rushing out simultaneously to get to their list of assignment or the state of their post, people tend to die. Now let's talk about number 3, incurs unnecessary governmental expenses. Now we're living in a time where the citizens of this country are clamoring, shouting, if not for the hike in prices, commodities and all that, it's for the government to reduce its expenses, especially the National Assembly. The gigantic and humongous expenses attached to these people's expenditures, welfare allocation and all that is baffling. The youth are crying, they are shouting, cut down these expenses, cut down this, and then you don't know that NYC is another extra unnecessary expenses on the governmental side. For instance, look at this. Daily Times posited that the federal government spent in 2022 12 billion naira for members' welfare and also their food and their kids. That's 12 billion. If you split this into 36 states, let's say you were arriving at maybe 432 million naira. You split it within various tertiary institutions. Now, you're not talking about the allocations that, let's go into that properly. If a core member receives, let's say, 33,000 allowance, and you times that into 12, yeah, you'll be getting 396,000. If you're to put the allowances, the bicycle allowances and other monies realized from the camp and all that, maybe you'll be arriving at 700,000. Now that's enough money to encourage these people from after graduation. I'll take that to the next option, the next challenge NYSC faces. Let's go down to number 4. NYSC does not really promote national integration. I'll tell you for truth. The scheme was designed in 1973 by the Yakubu Gowon administration to arrest the youth and pass into them a sense of national belonging after the collapse of the First Republic. You know, when Ojukwu and Gowon had that alteration led to that civil war, that bloody civil war. The scheme was designed alongside National Sports Festival to promote oneness, you know, uniqueness, like a patch on the crack. But look at it today. You see that it's not really living up to its expectation, because somehow even the core Northern Sharia female coppers are not allowed, are not posted to this side of the South. It is alleged that they will be corrupted there or westernized. Do you understand? Their practices, their dress code, their ethics, morality, decency, belief will be scrapped. That we will change it. So when you have such kind of mentality where you don't trust the scheme to really impact the necessity and knowledge to what you have displayed it or set it up for by your own people, how then do you preach the message? How then do you express it profoundly to the people? Our people go there to teach, to impart knowledge into the people, and it's supposed to be a vice versa. But now when you see that it's a give and not receive thing, then that tends to be a political play.
The scheme has appeared to be a waste of time, and with the current situation of things in our country, paper qualification and connection have become more important than the scheme. Secondly, waste and misappropriation of funds. The money the federal government allocates to the scheme every year is enough to build industries and train graduates on useful skills for employment opportunity, and dubious political office holders use this as a means to embezzle money, all in the name of NYSC program.
Do you understand? So these are where is the fairness, equity, the whatever that NYSC enshrines or embodies? There's politics here. Do you understand? So as a matter of fact, the scheme should end. Not talking about the politics where one state pays higher than the other states. Can you see that? Somebody is in, let's say, Jigawa and is earning maybe 4,000 from the state, and another person is in Benin and is earning 15,000. That's the same job, the same governmental job, and they are not paid equally. That's now unfair treatment. That's not preferential. What's the gain? What's the necessity? Let's sum it up. NYSC increases unemployment. Do you understand that? Now, with the numbers of graduates, I need to do a mathematical analysis on this last one. With the numbers of graduates that are being produced from the tertiary institution yearly, I assume to be 500,000 graduates produced from all the tertiary institutions. Now, ask yourself, how many civil servants retire from the civil and public service every year? There should be an equilibrium in this calculation, because the numbers of graduates released or relieved from various tertiary institutions should tally with what the civil service are retiring every year. So there should be fairness. But in this case, you find out that the corruption in the system, you understand, where people will work ahead of their year of normal service. You understand? Then the ghost workers and all that, it will be piling these graduates up. And then with the hope, you bring up people, You give them a particular lifestyle for a year, and all of a sudden you dump them. Where do you expect them to go? You start life afresh. And that's the reason for all these kidnapping, banditry, prostitution, and social unrest that you see, vandalization. These people are informed. These graduates are informed. You're using and dumping them. Let's be honest here. You take them out, you absorb them into a system, and then you leave them. Whereas this money, look, NYSC is a blessing. Now, this is the reason why people say education is scam. Do you understand me? Because when you go to school and you come back at the end of the day, you're looking for a job, and then somebody who has been in the system on the street pursues that thing diligently and then establishes. You still come back with your paper, submitting to somebody who has not gone to school to help you. How then you encourage other people to look into the system? Do you understand? In a practical term, NYC should be like this. Where a man goes to a village, calls a group of boys, pick them along, take them to the city, put them in his shop, and then give them this leverage to service him, to make sales. You understand me? At the end of a particular period, the man relieves them from their duty and then settles them, and they're established. Now, these boys can go for Christmas or any festival in their village, and the other mates of theirs will be astonished, like, wow, really? It's self-professing. It confesses impactfulness that this lifestyle of poverty has been eradicated because they left and traded the environment for a fresher environment, and then there's an impact. You're seeing it is possible, it's feasible, it can be felt. That's what NYC should be like. You understand? Then the friends of these persons will be encouraged to try life in the city. Do you understand me? Not in a situation where they come back and they're looking more like a monumental statue, a tool of caricature, or a tool of mockery and abject poverty, backwardness, rejectedness. That's what NYC signifies. I'm not going to lie, NYC has a lot of positivities. For instance, there are reviews, it's debatable. Look at this.
NYSC exposes youth to the work environment, helping them to acquire necessary work experience and job experience that they will need in the world of business. NYSC has connected people with their destiny helpers, lovers, and potential business opportunity.
And look at this.
A quick reference back to the 2010 and 2011 presidential election, where results shown that 7% or 7 COP members lost their life during the presidential election. Ultimately, I am of the opinion that the waste of 1 year.
So you see, it could be debatable. People can really ponder and reflect and say, no, don't scrap NYC. There are officials whose family depend on the salary they get from there. There are people, but then it's not really necessary. The numbers of jobless youths out there flooding the society is alarming. If the government had in mind the youth's interest, then they should be able to curb this joblessness by tackling this thing after graduation. What is the skill acquisition for? What is the small-scale businesses education, the entrepreneurship education for? We are deceiving ourselves. This money should be given to microfinance banks. There should be a kind of financial institution and then task force set up to regulate, monitor the activities of these graduates to see how they foster up and go about creating businesses, and that's going to increase capitalism, boost the GDP, and also increase income per capita, and then our dependency on importation. Honestly, I'm telling you. So it's up to you, NYC official. If on a vex, make on a vex. So, but the government must, as a matter of urgency, scrap that scheme today to save lives, to improve the economy. Thank you.
Thirdly, no job guarantee. After NYC, what is next? Obviously, there's nothing next, but because the government will leave you on your own to source for a job, and then you become a job wanderer on the street.